All right, we will commence with our program today, Camp Rainbow Gold. Mike Felton is sponsor, and he will introduce our guest. Mike?
Thank you. My guest today is Crystal Holzel. She's the Director of Development for Camp Rainbow Gold. I volunteer a week every year to go up to camp and be a counselor. This coming year will be my 4th year. Although Crystal goes after the big bites, I have talked the Seagraves Foundation to sponsor our float trip each year, which is over $7,000 to get all the kids on a bus, get them over to the other side of Galena, and float the river. And it's just a great experience for them because the 2 camps I'm involved in, I've been in the sibling camp, which is for siblings of brothers and sisters that have cancer, and then I've also been in the teen camp, which is the actual kids with cancer. And the float trip, I've had a number of the kids tell me that they love it because it takes their mind off having cancer or a sibling that has a cancer for 3 or 4 hours, because I mean, you're paddling hard, you're going through big waves, and it's a great therapeutic deal to do. I got involved in Camp Rainbow Gold because Keegan and I have muscular dystrophy, and there's there's not a camp for that here, so I joined Camp Rainbow Gold, which is obviously an oncology camp. They were glad to have me show up because they have more volunteers than they can fit into the program, but they need people with medical skills, and I was a cross-trained firefighter and EMT from Buell. So that's how I got involved. One of the neatest things that I've had happen while I've been at camp was my cabin was headed back to go to sleep for the night, and I had everybody lay in a circle with their heads at the center and just look up at the stars for about 5 minutes. And one of the kids started to cry, and I went over to talk to him, and he said, "That's where my brother is." So, and I'm sorry I'm not put together a little better. So, before I make a fool out of myself, Crystal Holzel, thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mike, for inviting me here today. It's an honor to be here, and I welcome the opportunity to tell you more about Camp Rainbow Gold. Let me ask first, do any of you know about Camp Rainbow Gold? Of course from Mike, but have you all heard of Camp Rainbow Gold, or some of you have heard? Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. We are a 34-year-old organization started by the great Dr. Dave McCluskey. I'm sure many of you know that name and that family in this community. He started what was a week of camp back in 1985 because he had a patient that was sad because his siblings were able to go to camp, but he couldn't because there wasn't a camp that could care for him in his condition. And knowing Dr. Dave, he just said, we're going to make that happen. And he did. And he has created an incredible legacy that we have grown from 1 week of camp for oncology kids to 5 different camps, which include a sibling camp, a teen oncology camp, a youth oncology camp. We have 2 family camps that include the entire family. So that means aunts and uncles, siblings, anyone that's a caretaker for the family in any capacity. And we also have now a college scholarship program that started in 2007. We have given away more than $750,000 to our survivors to continue their education and become wonderful servants of our communities. We also do a teen support group that meets once a month. It's a way to get the kids together and be empowered, because our mission is to provide emotionally empowering experiences for Idaho's children diagnosed with cancer and their families. We are an organization that serves all of Idaho, and we serve over 750 individuals every year, 300 plus families every year. And everything that we do for our families, whether it be a college scholarship or a week-long camp, it's free to all of them. And it's free because of our wonderful Idaho community, people like you, organizations like Rotary. We rely on individual donations, grant applications, businesses and foundations to support us. And then we also have our annual Share Your Heart Ball, which it takes place up in the Sun Valley area, that helps fund our programs to keep them free every year. Some of the great things that we offer these families is a support system. It is something that these kids take with them long after their cancer diagnosis. And they become our volunteers. They become, like Mike is, they become our fundraisers. They continue being involved in Camp Rainbow Gold from start to finish. So I'm not sure if any of you have questions about Camp Rainbow Gold at all. I can certainly answer those if you have that. I will tell you it costs $2,000 to send one child to camp for 1 week. And again, all of that is free because of the generosity of this Idaho community. Yes, go ahead.
Well, most everybody here knows I'm a cancer survivor, but I have had an opportunity several times to ride with these badass motorcycle guys that escort the kids from Bellevue to the camp. And you talk about these big, bad whatever, melting into like little tender, they let the kids sit on the bike and vroom, vroom, vroom. They each carry a stuffed animal and pick the kid they thought it should belong to. I never rode the bike because I don't do bikes, but I was the crash vehicle, which if anybody crashes, you're supposed to haul their bike, but luckily nothing happened. But this year it did. But that is one of the most touching, because bikers come from all over, at least Idaho, really, and eventually end up at Park in Bellevue, and then the kids come on their bus, and it's like, I don't know how many buses we saw, but then all the guys get in line and follow these buses, and it's the most touching thing to be a part of, you can stand on the path and watch it. There are people waving American flags, or, cancer sucks, whatever, and it's something, if you can't go up there and volunteer, at least you can ride your bike, which is a good thing to do that, or just stand and participate. Be at this Bellevue Park just to thank everybody, because it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal, and as a counselor, there's counselors that know that this is probably the last time they're ever going to see this child. But also, as a cancer survivor, I can show them that you can do it, and it's quite a touching thing. And there isn't anybody in this room, I can guarantee you, that's not been touched by cancer. So it's kind of a way to give back to our kids.
Thank you. I will say that our camps really what they offer certainly is the fun and the laughter. It gives these kids the opportunity to step away from their cancer diagnosis and really be a kid. They don't realize that they can learn to ride a bike again. They don't realize that they can meet other kids like them, and they can really talk about their some of the issues that they have, some of the bullying that they might have, and it's a huge comfort and a way that they bond and become incredible friends, and they look forward to the next year's camp the minute that they're leaving camp. And it's because of the generosity of our volunteers as well. We have over 400 volunteers that make our programs happen, and they give over 27,000 hours of their time to make our programs happen. We would not be able to do what we do without our volunteer corps, whether coming to camp for a week. They support the Share Your Heart Ball with volunteering. People do independent fundraisers for Camp Rainbow Gold. So it's our volunteer corps that truly makes our programs happen. I'd like to share a story of one experience I had at camp. I have the pleasure of getting to many of our camps and staying for most of those weeks, which happen our primary camps happen in July up in the Wood River Valley. 3 weeks in a row, we have that sibling camp, which Mike mentioned, has become, that camp we're sadly turning away kids because we are full. And it's a camp that we realized was a huge need for these siblings who often feel left out. They don't understand necessarily what's happening in the family household. The sick child is getting all of the attention, and so they tend to have other issues that arise when they're feeling left out or don't understand why they can't go to soccer camp anymore because the family can't afford that. So they come to Camp Rainbow Gold and they meet others like them and just really bond and understand that there is hope and there's love and fun and laughter with Camp Rainbow Gold, and that's what we do. But one of the stories that I wanted to share is that we had a teen camper who has a prosthetic leg because she had bone cancer. And she was determined. We have a climbing wall that comes during the carnival, and she was determined to get up that climbing wall. And she tried several times and couldn't make it, and little by little people started gathering around the wall because they were doing other things, carnival, bouncy house, sugar cones, and all those things that were happening. But little by little, all the campers started gathering around that wall. It started getting dark, and the kids started shining their headlamps. So Darby could get up this wall. At one point, after her probably fourth try, her prosthetic leg even fell off, and she kept going. And everyone was cheering and wishing her well and screaming and saying, "You can do it, you can do it." Sadly, she didn't make it to the top, but the more empowering experience was having her friends gather around her, cheering her on, and in her heart, she made it to the top of that wall. So those are the types of experiences that Camp Rainbow Gold offers to these kids and families that need our help. So, yes? Great question. The camp is held up at Cathedral Pines, which is just north of Ketchum, Idaho, about 13 miles. We have been in that location for 25 years. And one of the things that you may have heard is that we are looking for a forever home to make Camp Rainbow Gold a permanent home. Right now we lease the property, and we are turning away kids, and we are also turning away families to our family camps because they can't accommodate that any longer. And so, but our camps are up at Cathedral Pines, just north of Ketchum, and one of our family camps takes place at Camp Perkins up at Alturas Lake. And then our teen support group is down in the Boise area. Like I said earlier, we do serve the entire state of Idaho. Our primary office is in Boise, and we're very connected to St. Luke's. They work very closely with us to bring the most medically fragile children to camp, because we do have oncology doctors and nurses that are volunteering their time at camp, so we can bring those kids up. So our teen support group takes place down in Boise. But we serve kids from Twin Falls, from the Wood River Valley, from the Treasure Valley, eastern Idaho. So it's open to anyone and everyone that needs some support and help and love and laughter during a difficult time. Anyone else? We have a short video for you. Just no, that's okay. A short video just to the kids themselves are the ones that can really explain what Camp Rainbow Gold is all about and what it feels like to be there. And AJ is actually one of our local Twin Fall boys that you may know.
I have an astrocytoma. It's a brain tumor. I just had my second surgery to remove what they can in my back of the head. It's originally on the brain stem, so can never be fully removed. When you have cancer, you're really never a kid. It's hard just to be a kid. I know what it feels like to be left out, and I know what it feels like to be wanting to do something with friends and stuff and not have anybody there. You're going through puberty and you're going through everything else. Does she like me? Does he like me? All of this. And then on top of it, you have to worry about, am I going to survive? What am I gonna do tomorrow? How am I gonna face, like Hannah, how am I gonna face everybody looking at me in the wheelchair and stuff? And up here, no one judges because they all have differences. You come up here and it's an escape, so you're not as depressed and you're not thinking of your family, because I'm sure most of us have depression issues. I mean, at least I do. But life is your life, so you go on and you live it and you do what you can and you just live it day by day, and it's your life, so you do different stuff. You shoot for the stars, and if you go to Jupiter, well, you know what? Other people go to Mars, and Jupiter is yours. So everybody takes their own path, and you can take your own path too. I don't think God meant to hurt us. I think He meant to give us something that He knows we can survive through and show us how strong we really are. We have a fighting chance here, and we have to take it. I mean, each one of these people here are an inspiration to live and to go on. Each one of us is a living truth that you can survive with cancer. You can fight this thing, and each one of us are heroes. I want to shine for Camp Rainbow Gold because without them, we wouldn't have the ambition to fight all these battles. We all have cancer, and we may not all be the same, but we all understand. Camp Rainbow Gold brought us all together to all share in something amazing. You have to find the light in every day. You know what? This right here is perfect.
Like I said, they can explain it best. If any of you would like to get involved in Camp Rainbow Gold, there are ways to volunteer. You can do fundraising events for Camp Rainbow Gold. You can attend our Share Your Heart Ball. And if you know any children or families that could use our support, I have information up here about all of that. And if you care to take that and be a part of that, we would welcome you into our Camp Rainbow Gold family. So, any other questions? Not at this time. Thank you for your time.
Please take this with our congratulations. And can you pick 2 tickets for us?
Absolutely. There's one.
There's one. There's 2. Thank you. All right. That was beautiful, especially at Thanksgiving. We have to appreciate that. Mike, you are among close, close friends. I hope you know that.